All right, here we go. We're going to review for this quiz. The quiz is tomorrow. So I'm just going to go question by question. I'm not going to give you the exact numbers, okay, that I'm going to put on here, but I will give you a very, very good idea of what we're doing here, all right, and what to expect on the quiz. So if you're paying just a little bit of attention to this and you do a little bit of studying, you should do very well on this, all right, if you're paying attention. That's a big if. All right, the last time, a lot of you did, but a lot of you did not. All right, hope everybody's writing this down. Most of you got, almost everybody, but still not everybody has something on your desk ready to write with. All right, you should come prepared every day. I talk about it. It's not like you don't know, right? I get tired of saying it. I say it so much. So you should come prepared every day. You should have a notebook. Somebody hold up their spiral notebook they take notes in every day. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that it? 5? Okay, some of you just didn't want to hold them up. All right, well, that's good. At least we got a handful of you that are doing what I asked. Okay, I'll stop yelling at you. Seems like I do that every day, doesn't it? So I'll stop. Number 1, here we go. What I do is I give you a number line. You should recognize all these from the homeworks, okay? This is all from section 1.5, all from the same homework. So, remember we split it up into 1.5A and B? So there's quite a bit to this. That's why I split it up. Instead of giving you one big, huge assignment, I made it into 2. So I give you a number line, and I'm just going to make one up. This is not exactly the way it is in the quiz, but if you know how to do what I'm doing right now, you should be able to do well on the quiz. So that's 1, 2, 3. This is -1, -2, -3. And then I'll put some points on here. Let's do this in red. So let's put a point right here. We'll just call it A. Again, I'm just making this up. That's B. And we'll just make it easy. I'll just do 3 of them. I think I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the quiz, okay? So there's 5 points. I'm just going to simplify it just a little bit. And it's going to ask you some questions. First of all, the first question is going to say, what is the coordinate of one of these letters? Let's say B. I'll just make that up, okay? Find the coordinate of B. Write that down. Find. That's the key word right here, coordinate. If you look in your notes on section 1.5, you'll see all this in there. Find the coordinate of point B. I'll just put B right there. And what would you tell me? What would the answer be? -1. That's right. So you see the point? There's B. What number is associated with point B? Right there, it's -1. So that's your answer. Simple as that. Everybody should get that. It's different numbers, different letters. The number line's bigger than that one that I put right there, but it's the same idea. And then the next 2, I ask you to find the length of something. So let's just say AB. And then number 3, let's go AC. All right? So what if I ask you to do that? What does that mean, just find AB? Well, there it is. I found it. Is that what you want to do? No. What does it mean when it says AB with no line over top of it? Find the length of it. That's right. Find out how long it is from A to B. Look, if it's a number line, and these points are on a number line, what's the easiest way to do it? Just count, right? Just count if you wanted to. Watch. How far is it from A to B? 2 places. That's 1 place. That's 2 places. So what's the distance? It's 2. So you just put 2. It's easy, isn't it? Should be. If you wanted to, yeah, I do have a problem. It's actually number 7. So we'll talk about it right now. What if you didn't just count, but you just used the numbers? What if I said that point A was at -3 and point B was at -1? What was the length of AB? So mathematically, how would you find that? You're not going to add them. You're going to subtract, right? To find the distance between 2 points, you subtract the 2 coordinates, okay? Remember we talked about going to McDonald's, right? If you're at the 5-mile mark and you want to go to the 9-mile marker, okay, what's the distance between the 5-mile marker and the 9-mile marker? What's the distance? It's 4. What'd you do? What math did you do? You subtracted. You went 9 minus 5. Everybody got that? So it's the same thing. You don't have negative mile markers on the road, but it's basically the same idea though. So how do I find the distance between here and here? I subtract. Let's do the math. -1 minus what? -3. That's right. It's not just minus, it's not -1 minus 3. That would be the distance between here and here. Okay, but -1 minus 3. And again, it doesn't matter what order that you subtract. Okay, as long as you take the positive part of the answer. Okay, remember the absolute value? We talked about that. All right, so let's see what happens here. What happens? Minus minus. Plus. Yeah. -1 plus 3 is 2. It's already positive, and it's 2. Same answer as we got when we counted. Agreed? All right. But on this, if it's this easy with a number line, and it doesn't go too far. Now, the number line that I put on the quiz goes from -10 to +10. All right. So if you wanted, you could just count. Wouldn't be that hard to count, but you could do the subtraction as well. Let's do AC. Find AC. So again, you could count. Okay. Let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're exactly right. So you could do that, and then that's your answer. That's good enough. You don't have to show work for that. You got a number line? Just count. But what if you wanted to do it mathematically and not just count? What would you do? AC. Do you add? Come on, we just got done talking about this. We subtract. This was a subtraction, remember? All right, so, and again, it doesn't matter what order you subtract them in. Let's go, yeah, let's go the other way just to get a negative answer. I just want to switch it up a little bit. So you could go -3 minus 3. But what is -3 minus 3? Well, add the opposite, and that's -6. But do we write our answer as -6? No, because the distance is always positive. Yeah, so technically, you don't really have to put the absolute value there. Just in your head, you know that the distance isn't -6, it's just plain old 6. So you write 6. Okay? You get the answer either way. Again, like I said, we'll get to it in a minute. Number 7, they don't give you a number line. And they give you numbers that you don't want to make a number line. It's too far from one point to the other to count. So you need to know, how do you find the distance between 2 points? You subtract those 2 coordinates. Questions on that before we move on? All right. I don't know why I made the next one 7, but I tell you what, since we're talking about it right now, let's just do 7 now, and then I'll do 4, 5, and 6 after this. All right, so let's do 7 right now. Question says, find the distance. They even write the word distance. They, me. I wrote it, okay? Find the distance between, and here's the 2 numbers, 47 and -12. Seems pretty random, all right? But you want to find the length, okay? So if you had a number line and you put a point at 47, okay, way over here at 47, then you got a point way over here at -12. How far is it from 47 to -12? Well, what do? We subtract, correct? So 47 minus, is it 47 minus 12? No, it's 47 minus what? No, I already got the 47. -12, okay? Make sure you include the sign because this is a -12. Now, what happens with this minus? Yeah, that's a plus and that's a plus, all right? And then what do? Just add them up now, right? Because it's just plus, all right? So that's what? 59, all right? Now, the other ones were not the same exact numbers on the quiz. I'll tell you right now, this one, I don't know why I should have picked different numbers, but I forgot about it. But that's on the quiz, that exact one right there, all right? So if you don't get that right, I don't know what I can do for you. I'm just handing out free candy for you, you know what I mean? Just take it, all right? Of course, shouldn't take candy from strangers, but I'm not a stranger. Strange sometimes, but you do know me. All right, let's do this. You have to classify whether these angles are acute, so you need to know what these words mean. Obtuse, right, or straight. All right, so I'm going to give you some angles, the measurement of an angle, and you just have to tell me which one of these is that angle. I'm going to change numbers up on this one. I'm not going to completely give it to you. All right. So, I don't know, what if you had an angle that was 157 degrees? Which one of these is that? It's obtuse. Very good. All right, because it's more than what? 90. Okay, it's more than 90. And that's your answer right there. It's just obtuse. That's all you got to do. Okay? Number 5, I'll give you another one. Let's say, I don't know, 37 degrees. That would be acute. Again, these may not be in the same order. They may not be the same numbers. All right, just trying to get you to understand what these words mean. All right, and then the next two are pretty easy, right? As long as I don't repeat one of these, and I'm not going to repeat one. But what if I said 90 degrees? What was that? Yeah, that's an easy one. And I could also ask for what? I could also I'll put an or. I got all three of these. What's the one I'm missing? Straight. How many degrees is that? 180. So I could say 180 degrees. And what's your answer? Straight. Okay? That's all you need. Everybody got that? So if it's more than 90, it's obtuse. Now, when I say that, because 180 is more than 90, isn't it? But it's not obtuse, it's straight. Technically, the definition is it's between 90 and 180. But that seems to confuse students, so I just say if it's more than 90, it's obtuse. If it's less than 90, it's what? Acute. If it is 90, it's right. If it is 180, it's straight. So make sure you know those. So that's 4, 5, and 6. Everybody good? All right. Tell you what, I am going to, for these next ones, I don't think I'm going to be able to make these up in my head and come up with a nice, pretty answer. All right. I could make a problem up in my head, but it may not come out that nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a problem from the book that's not on the quiz, all right, but is very similar to the one that's on the quiz. Very, very similar, all right? So here we go. So this is number 8. We already talked about 7. So this is number 8. So I'm going to give you a line segment like this, and I'm just going to do the one exactly from the book. All right, so I'm going to use the same letters and everything. This is not the one that I put on the quiz, though, I promise. This is 2x minus 7, but it's very, very close to it. All right, it's the same kind of problem, just the numbers are a little different. All right, and here's what the question says that they want you to do. They want you to find, and you're going to have to find 2 answers for this. All right, it's going to be the same. It's still going to count as one problem. So you got to get them both right to get that problem right. All right, so find PQ and QR. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. You're looking for PQ and you're looking for QR, and it says if. So they got to tell you one more piece of information to be able to do this. PR is equal to 30. Okay. This is section 1.5, and it's number 39 on the homework. If you want to look it up, if you want to put that on your notes, it's number 39 on the homework. Okay, so if you want to look at it, look at some of the other problems, okay, that are on there. Remember, this is not the one that's going to be on the quiz. So what would you do if you wanted to find out exactly which one's on the quiz? Nobody's thinking? Listen, I said on the quiz, this is from the homework, right? And the problem on the quiz is from the homework, but it's not this one. And there's only 2 like this. So guess what you should do if you want to see the problem that's exactly on the quiz? Go to the book and look for the one that's next to this. I'll just tell it. Doesn't seem like anybody wants to answer me today, so I'll just tell you. So this is 39, right? I'm not even going to tell you which number. I'm going to make you look it up, all right? If you really want to know the exact problem on the quiz, look in the book for section 30 or section 15. Look for a problem that's very close to number 39, all right? And that's the one that's on the quiz. Everybody got that? All right. All right, good. All right, let's do this. We want to find PQ and we want to find QR. They tell you PR. They tell you that whole entire thing right there. And they say that that whole thing is 30. So what does this little bit and this little bit do to make 30? They add up, right? Do they equal each other? No, because look where Q is. Look where P is. That's much shorter than this one. They don't equal each other. They never told you that they equal each other, but they do add up to be the whole thing. So what are we going to do? We're going to add them up. I'm not going to explain this all from scratch. I explained it. Okay, watch lesson 1.5. That's another thing you could do to study for the quiz. Okay, look at section 1.5 on the YouTube video, and you should be able to see everything that's going to be on the quiz. All right, here we go. And that's equal to what? I added them up. What do they add up to be? They add up to be the whole thing. What's the whole thing? It's 30. So I add them up, set them equal to 30. That's the key to that problem right there. That's the hardest part of that problem. The rest of it is just algebra. Okay, maybe that's the hardest part for you. I don't know. But that's the geometry. Okay, we took these two segments, we added them together, and they equal the whole thing. That's what we just did. Now we just do a little bit of work, right? And there's no way that I'm going to give you credit if you just put number 8, and I don't even know what the answer is. It's 3 and 27. All right, yeah. PQ is 3 and QR is 27. If this is the quiz and this is the only thing that you show me right there, how do I know that you knew how to do the problem? You know what I mean? There's no way you're doing this in your head. There's no way. I can't do it in my head. All right? So that's just telling me something. Either you just memorized the answer from the homework, or you're looking at somebody else's paper. I don't know. Is there any other options? I don't think you just guessed that, would you? You think, okay, what plus what is 30? 3 and 27. I don't know. Maybe you could guess it, I guess. There's a possibility. But I'd mark it wrong. And I would say what? Show, what would I say? Work. Okay? So don't do that. Don't just put the answer. Show me how you got it. So first of all, you got to set up the equation, and now you do your algebra. Let's do it. 2x plus 5x, 7x. Negative 7 plus 2 minus 5, negative 5, equals 30. Add a 5. Add a 5. You should be writing this down right now. Equals 35. And then divide both sides by 7. I'm going through this quickly because we took 3 weeks to learn how to do this stuff. There we go. All right. So, is that my answer? Do I circle that and I'm done? I go to the next problem? No, they're asking you to find this segment right here. Okay, and they're asking you to find this segment right here. So how do I find what PQ is equal to? Substitute. Good, I like that word. You substitute the x in for this x right here. So substitute 5 in for that x. So let's do it over here. So it's 2 times 5 minus what? 7. That's 35 minus 7, and that's, what did I do? Why did I put 35? I'm thinking, I don't know why I put 35. That's weird. It is 10, thank you. It's 10 minus 7. See, that's why you got to check your work. Because if I would have put 35 minus 7 is 28, then I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, that's the shorter one. There's no way that's 28. Okay, you got to check your work. I didn't do that on purpose. That was just my mistake, all right? But 2 times 5 is 10, minus 7 is what? 3, all right? So how do I write my answer? PQ equals 3. Don't just write a 3 and circle it. Write what it's equal to. PQ is what you just found. PQ is 3. Now, there's a super easy way to find QR. You could take the 5 and plug it into this. What's the best way, Zion? Yeah, 30 minus 3. Because remember, this little bit is 3. The whole thing is 30. So how do I find QR? I go 30 minus 3, which is 27. And what's equal to 27? QR is equal to 27. This is what you need to do on the quiz, all right? Set up your equation, solve for x, plug it back in, find the other one by subtracting, and then you're good. Yeah, the one on the quiz is just like this, except the numbers are different. That's it. All right, you just add these two together, set it equal to the whole thing. They give you a different number for the whole thing. It's a different problem. And then you do exactly what we just did right there. It's no different. All right, that's number 8 on the quiz. Let's do number 9. Again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm looking at the book. I'm picking the one that I did not put on the quiz. All right, so this is number 40 from... Now, it's number 9 on the quiz, but it's number 40 in the book, section 1.5, if you want to look at it, okay? Just tell you where I'm getting it from. So, you want to find, well, let's draw the thing first, then I'll tell you what we want to find. Looks kind of similar, but it's a little different. This is a little different. And then... put a point right there. Is JK, let's see, it's not JKL, what is it? RST. This is RST. This is 6x minus 20. And this one is 3x plus 4. And they tell you the whole thing. All right, so I'll write how they write it. All right, it says find RS and RT. Find RS and RT. Find the lengths, right? That's what it means, the length of RS and the length of RT. If S is the midpoint. S is the midpoint. Well, what does that mean? Of RT. Yeah, it's in the middle. Or it breaks it up into 2 equal segments, doesn't it? So tell me something about RS and ST. They're equal to each other. Okay. Do we know what they add up to be, like in the last problem? No, they don't tell us the whole length of it. All right. So don't add them up and set them equal to anything, because I don't know what they're equal to. I don't know what they add up to be. They don't tell me. But they do tell me that S is the midpoint. That's very, very important. That means I can put a little tick mark here. I can put a little tick mark here, which indicates that those 2 segments are equal to each other. So guess what I'm going to do with this and this? I'm going to set them equal to each other. Everybody good? And now I just do some algebra. So that's your geometry. Now we just do some algebra. We got to get x on the same side, so write this down. If you're not good at this, if you don't know what's going on with the algebra, at least write it down. You can go back and study it. Minus 3x from both sides. I'm going to get the 20 and put it on the other side, so I'm going to do that by adding a 20. Again, I'm not going to explain these steps in detail just because we've spent a lot of time on this. 6x minus 3x is 3x. And then 4 plus 20 is 24. Divide both sides by 3. X is 8. It's not my answer. Okay, I don't circle it. I don't keep going. What do I got to do? I got to find RS, don't I? So let's substitute it. All right, let's take this 8 and plug it in for this x right here. So it's going to be 6 times what? 8, and then minus 20. 6 8s are 48. Minus 20 is 28. And that equals what? RS. Now, you got to be very careful on this next one. Remember, there's 2 parts to this. You got to get them both right to get the problem right. Everybody understand that? All right, said it earlier. RS is 28. So what's ST? It's also 28. But is that what they ask you? No. They ask you for what? RT. So they ask you for the whole entire length of this. So don't write 28 for RT. A lot of students do that. I'm telling you right now, don't do it. What's the whole entire length? It's 28 plus 28, which is 56. So my answer, how do I write it? RT equals 56. And that's how you should do it. All right, you need to do all these steps to solve for x. Make sure you set them equal to each other. That's the key to this problem right there. That's the key, is to set those two things equal to each other. If you don't do that, if you add them up and set them equal to some crazy number, you're not going to get it right. All right, you got to set them equal to each other, solve for x, plug it back in, you're good to go. All right, one more. That was number 9. We got one more problem. And here's what the picture looks like. You've seen this before, but we're going to talk about it again. So this is number 10 on the quiz. This deals with angles. All right, you got one coming out like this, and then you got one coming out like this. I'm not going to put the arrows on there just because of time. And then I'm going to call this angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. That's good enough. I'm not even going to put the letters and stuff in there. What do they tell you? They say find angle 3. Again, I'm going to make up a different number from what they give you. If angle 1 equals angle 2 and angle 1 equals, I'll just kind of make it easy. Let's say 40. Whatever. Yeah, 40. 60. I just want to make it kind of. We'll just say it's 50. It might not be drawn to scale. That's okay. All right. So what do we do? Sean, you watching? What I would do is this. I would put in here what they tell you. They tell you angle 1 is 50 degrees. So I would put it right there. So that's 50 degrees. Okay. What else do they tell you? They tell you two things. Okay. They give you a lot of information, actually. They tell you angle 1 is 50 degrees. What else do they tell you is true about this? 1 and 2 are equal to each other. Okay. So if this is 50, Donnell, up here. If this is 50, what's this? That's also 50. But what do they ask for? They ask for angle 3. So we got to figure out what this is. Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard. Because look, the whole entire straight line, angles 1, 2, and 3 add up to be what? Angles 1, 2, and 3 add up to be 180 because they form a what? Straight line, straight angle. Okay? So that's right, you got it now. So if this is 50 and this is 50, this whole thing from here to here is 100, right? If they all add up to 180, then you just do what? 180 minus 100, and that gives you 80. So angle 3, this is how we write it, angle 3 equals 80 degrees. Now, they're different numbers. Okay, I don't make this 50. I just made it super easy for you. I make it another number, but you do the same work. It's basically the same exact work. Okay? That's number 10. That's it. That's the quiz. All right, that's enough of that. Now we'll take a look at the homework that you have due today, and I am not going to record that part of it.